You are golden, you are good enough, like your fire from within. You're inspired, you inspire us. It's gonna be all good again.
Welcome back to the Roar Indie Author Interview Series. I'm your host, Brianna, and today we have Dr. Eleanor Wint coming from Canada to tell us about her book. I'm so excited to meet you. Thank you so much for spending some of your day with us. I would love to know what inspired you to be a writer.
I can remember as a child, I used to hide and read. You know, we used to have bay windows, big bay windows in the house. And I would sit in the window and then they couldn't find you. You know how you can curl up in a window. And I would read and read and read. So it's really been a history of reading to me more than writing. But the interesting thing is I used to write notes to people and then I found myself getting very active at school. This is all in school years. And at about 16, I had my first brownie pack. You know, Girl Scouts?
Yeah.
These 7-year-olds, yes. I had my own brownie pack. And it made me get very organized. And I realized that I could share information, you know, writing. And it was coming from the amount of reading that I was doing. And as my life went on, I started to do a lot of traveling because I used to represent young people at a lot of conferences and things all over the world. And books were now a part of my life, and recording what was happening was a part of my life. So I guess logically, I could say I'm an author because I went into academia. And in academia, that's where you really write. Papers, books, you publish a lot of books, you publish documents, and I found it interesting, and I did well. But the thing, now that I have retired, I notice I feel better, because now I'm writing for people, everyday people. You understand what I mean? Moms, dads, caregivers, and I'm writing in their language, our language. And when I was in academia, I used to travel a lot. And when I travel, I would be doing research and working with families and communities. And all of this came together when I started to write now for everyday people. And my concentration is really moms, dads, as I said, caregivers. Also, children. I specialize in that group of children, 4 to 8, 4 to 7, and tweens, because I love tweens. I think they're fantastic. So when I look back at my author status, so to speak, I also have a blog. I'm an author with a blog because I find the blog is where I can, you know, give suggestions, share the information. But the books that they read, the books that people will read are more, the books have so many functions. I did a blog which is called Quick Tips to Keeping Moms Calm. And I found out that you can use a book, you know, to calm children and to calm yourself, and to let the time go by, and to, you know, explain how you're feeling, how you think they're feeling, bedtime reading and things like this. So books are very important to me. So I think as an author, I think my life has sort of grown over the years, my ability, and I'm where I'm supposed to be now.
Oh, it was like a natural evolution. It sounds like that you just kind of like, with each step, you like grew into this role and put all the pieces together. Oh, that's beautiful.
Exactly.
I love that.
Yeah.
Tell us about the book that you have in the Roar Golden Ticket to Literacy initiative.
Let me first of all give a shout out to Roar. I think Roar is fantastic. To tell you the truth, I don't know whoever I know I couldn't have thought it up because
Me neither. No,
no,
I'm right there with you.
no. It gives, that whole concept of the book vending machine, I think is just great. And it has so many functions, because the children earn their tokens and then they get the books, and then sometimes they might get a golden ticket. And if they get a golden ticket, then the whole school is involved with the author of the book coming. So it's building on so many levels. They talk about diversity and literacy in Roar. And it's going to accomplish it because the range of books, that's the reading and the diversity, but also the sense of community that is developing with the children. The children in the schools being responsible for each other, being responsible for somebody's book that somebody else might get. So my book is a rather neat little book. It's called The Adventures of Tweet Tweet. Really awesome penguin.
Yes, I love penguins.
No, it's a penguin.
I love penguins. I love them. I think they're incredible little creatures. Yeah.
Yeah. People don't know much about penguins, they just think of them up there somewhere floating around. Or you're not quite sure what they do or what they're up to. It was the first. I did this. It's the first of a series. We now have 4 books in the series called Tweet Tweet and Friends. I started this with my granddaughter.
No.
My granddaughter was 9 when she started it. So if I'm going to tell you about the book, allow me to tell you about how it came about. Yes, it's a nice little story. Lois, that's her name, Lois. She was having a hard time at school because she was 9, yes? And she was getting rather negative experience, based mainly on racial, ethnic differences.
Oh, I see.
And her mother is what I call she's wonderful. She's a Christian, but when you tell people somebody's a Christian, they think of a holy roller or a book beater, Bible beater. No, she is quite calm, and she studies a lot. The Bible. So when Lois would come home all distressed from something that happened on the school bus or something that happened at school, words can be so hurtful.
Yeah.
So she would come home and then her mother would gently work her through it. One day I'm sitting working at my computer on another book that I was working on. And she had in her hand a penguin that she used to play with and cuddle when she was around 6 years old. And she said, Gogo, that's me, I want to write a book. I said, oh, a book? She said, yes, I want to write a book. I said, well, go ahead. What you do is take this recorder, and every time you think of something, just talk to the recorder. She said, okay. And she went off. And then she came and I started to listen to the little bits of stories. And I realized we had a book. And I said, what have you done? She said, Tweet Tweet, that's the name of my penguin. And Tweet Tweet is having such an experience. And in this first book, Tweet Tweet, in the ice, on the snow and everything, is very special. And she broke her wing. And I said, where did you get that from? She said, yes, she broke her wing and she couldn't fly. And she made a story around Tweet Tweet. When she broke her wing, she was afraid that no one would have friends. No one would be her friend anymore. She wouldn't be able to do the things that she can do. And I said to myself, this is really interesting. She's using Tweet Tweet to just get out whatever it is that she's feeling, and also giving a message.
Yeah. Great message.
Yeah, because Tweet Tweet lives in her with her family.
Yeah.
And I said, this is really wonderful. And the story, as I said, is about Tweet Tweet breaking her wing learning to fly again, and going to hospital, and how all her friends react and when she comes out and what she does. And then we went on to, it develops. The whole series is just different encounters. That's why we call it adventures. Things that happen in the everyday life of a child. Yes.
Wonderful.
So that's more or less where we were.
That's a wonderful story. Like, she used her own experience to really, use writing as a tool to empower herself.
Yes.
That's pretty brilliant. And took her experiences and, added a little bit of, fantasy element to it, but created a whole story to work through it. Well, that's pretty brilliant.
Frankly, I was impressed. And this is something I said to people all the while, you don't have any idea what children can do. We don't know. We don't know until we give them the opportunity to do it.
Absolutely.
Because it just surprises me how much they can think, how they can speak, what words. You see, the message she was giving is that you can get over it, and there are people there to help. So I have used that throughout the series, and every time she tells me what the next one is, what the story is, how to go with it, and I put it together, and I get an illustrator because now she's doing stuff on her own, illustrating, learning how to draw, everything. So it's really intriguing.
That's wonderful. So what age groups is the Tweet Tweet series best
The
for?
Tweet, yes, it starts from 4 years old.
Okay.
Because the first one, this one, is very simple, very basic. You can read it to the child, and the child can read and follow the illustrations, which are so lovely. And then it moves right up to 8 years.
Okay, wonderful. So what does it mean for you and your granddaughter even to be part of an initiative like Roar?
I think it's a fantastic opportunity. Like I said, she would be the author. If somebody gets a golden ticket for her book, she would be the person going to the school.
Oh, wow.
Virtually, not me. I'm out of it.
You've done your part. So
She's
sweet.
the one that's going to talk with people like herself and talk about what she's done, and so it's an important event. And as I said, Roar is really phenomenal and something that must be encouraged. I'm trying to think how much we can sell it to the world.
Right?
Yes.
I know.
Yeah.
And how old is your granddaughter now?
Now she will be 12 next month in March.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So now she's teaching herself how to be an illustrator as well, so she can be the whole operation.
Yes, she can. She does those crazy things. You have Roblox, whatever it is, Roblox, and videos. She makes videos herself. Sits down and edits the video. I'm most impressed.
She could probably teach me a lot.
Well, me,
Is she in Canada too? She comes
hiring freelancers.
Yeah, she flies south for the winter. I mean, might need some help down here. What advice would you have, especially with your plethora of knowledge in academia and your experience growing as a writer? What insight or advice would you offer any aspiring writer?
I would say, if you want to write, go ahead and write. And when you go ahead and write your own thoughts. And as you write your own thoughts, don't forget to read. Because you have to read what others have said and what others are thinking. So I can give them in one sentence, and I would say, don't be afraid, because your words belong to you, not to somebody else. Your words belong to you. And you should just go ahead and write. That's what I want to tell them, especially children. Children write, and people don't realize that they write. A lot of children write. A lot of children would like to write, but they don't have the self-confidence. And nobody encourages them. It just needs a little help. So I would say, go ahead. and write your own thoughts. Your words belong to you. Put them down on paper.
I love that.
You have to put them down somewhere.
I love that because I think that resonates with me because as a kid, I wrote a lot to like work through my parents divorced and, there's a lot, there's not a lot of fun stuff happening when I was a kid. And it was really important for me. And I think that writing was always like my outlet, but nobody knew it or encouraged me to pursue it until like much later. And I was like, oh, what have I been doing for 20 years? So to me, that resonates and that speaks volumes. So I love that. Yeah, just write. Listen to Dr. Eleanor. She knows what she's talking about. Where were you 20 years ago?
This book, The Adventures of Tweety, because a lot of people write in sort of reality. But she's able to make you realize that Tweety is just like another little child, just like you. Tweety is just like you. Tweety is just like me. So the fact that she's a penguin is just an add-on because you can learn about snow and ice and stuff like that. But she's going through the same emotions that we are going through, as children, and envy from others, because you can do things that they can't do, or stuff like that, or even new experiences, how to deal with new experiences, how to deal with a new relationship. So if that's the case, you're just like Tweet, and it's wonderful. It's really wonderful.
It's quite lovely. So if people want to find out more about you and Tweet, where can they locate you?
I have a website, EAW. I didn't know how to write that on this medium, but
okay. I'll put it in all the notes so people have it for sure.
EAWpublications.com.
Okay.
And it has a blog there. And if you use contact at eawpublications.com, you'll get to me. We also have a Twitter account. It's Kids31, ITSKIDS 31. And the interesting thing is today is Valentine's Day. So I made a little poster from Tweet.
Oh, that's so lovely.
You go on it's Kids 31, you should find an image there that you can download as a poster. It's poster quality, so you can do whatever you want to do.
Oh, that's so thoughtful of you. That's super sweet.
Tweet makes you do things like that. That's not easy.
That bird is keeping you very busy. Whether you want to be or not, you're retired. Aren't you supposed to be relaxing? Well, thank you so much, Dr. Eleanor, for sharing your story with us and the journey that you've taken with your granddaughter. It's so wonderful that you're having empowering female characters as leads and showing not just children, but also adults how to persevere and get through tough situations. So thank you so much for your contributions. Is there anything else you'd like to share with us about your story?
No, just thanks for having me. There's just one little plug I want to put in that as a developmental specialist in growth and development, early childhood development, I want to emphasize the fact that especially at this age, 4 to 8, this is where everything is coming to a head. This is the groundwork. So as caregivers and parents, etc., let's realize that the brain is something that's living. It's a living system. It's making sense of the experiences that you are having and putting them together. So how you behave with the child is what the brain is putting together. So if you keep on doing something, that becomes the way the brain thinks it should go.
That's interesting.
Yes, this is what they call, you've heard this word neuroplasticity or whatever, all these big words, where the brain forms new synapses, it forms new ways of linking the cognitive experiences with the physical and the emotional. So it's just a little plug. I love this book because it brings the three major capacities that the individual has, the child has together, and makes it real, and makes it joyous, makes it funny, and it makes it happy. And I think all children right now, especially people of color, we need instances that make us happy, really happy. I mean, just relaxed happy, with no strings attached, you know. And
Absolutely.
that's the beauty of the penguin, you know, because the penguin is pink, and it's just wonderful. And she
Oh, I
flies.
love it. I love it so much. Thank you again for your time and your creativity, and we look forward to hearing more about Tweet Tweet. Until next time, everybody listening, we hope that you're enjoying your reading and writing journey.
You don't have to read between